Welcome back to We Like That podcast.
Because we like that. Welcome back.
Sup?
I'm Joe,
I'm Calvin.
and we are a few weeks away from one of the most holiest of holy days, the anniversary of Fate in the Water,
What the hell is that?
the Alabama massacre, the Montgomery massacre.
Okay,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
let's start on a gloomy note.
Is it a gloomy note? It's a win for us. What are you talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
When that pontoon decided to park itself where the big boat was supposed to come park, and the black captain
Oh, when
tried
the
to get them
dude
to move their
swam
pontoon.
to shore.
Aquaman
Yeah.
was
Oh,
created.
okay,
Yes,
sure.
so people are calling it Cinco de Agosto. They're talking about how
Wow.
everybody make sure you have your folding chairs.
Wow.
They're talking about who's bringing what food,
Wow.
what the colors are going to be. We're celebrating this as a yearly anniversary holiday. So,
Nah, I'm good.
and we're a few weeks away.
I'm good.
I'm fully in for this. I'm fully invested.
Good for you. The house is divided once again.
How is this? I'm just saying it's one of the few instances where we won. So there's
Okay.
that. Also, I didn't realize that was a boat captain. I thought that was a security guard this entire time. But he was the boat captain. And he took a dinghy to ask that pontoon to move because they needed to park their boat there. Because they had been circling the dock for 45 minutes.
Yeah, he did his job. Pretty much. That's it.
So crazy. Anywho, so we're a few weeks away from that countdown. What else is happening? Oh, you said you had a story to
Story
share.
about what?
Pole dancers, maybe strippers,
Strip club
scrippers.
going out this weekend. I just realized I can't do strip clubs sober. That's all. I have to be drunk because I go in there like your auntie who goes to church and try to save souls instead of being in there for what it is, just to see ass shake.
So your churchiness goes into full mode when you get into a strip club.
Yes, because I
Have you heard of the Lord Jesus?
I didn't get kicked out for touching strippers. I got kicked out for asking too many questions.
Did you really get kicked out?
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
yeah. I got asked to leave
No, by Clint.
by everybody actually.
Please.
Even the strippers.
What questions were you asking? You're making it sound like you were like, girls, you don't have to do this in your lives.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's literally what I was doing. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was doing. How'd you get here, though?
That's what you were saying for real?
Yeah, I'm like, you can do nothing else. You
What?
look so intelligent. You smell good, I guess.
That's very condescending.
I'm like, you shouldn't be here though.
Very condescending.
I'm like, it didn't help. We got there like way too early.
What's too early?
Like we were like the first ones there, kind of, sorta. Other than the strippers.
The first? How early was this? It was
It's like
7?
9.
9 was early?
Yes. People don't get to strip club till about 11, 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't strip clubs shut down at 2?
Who knows? I don't know. I've never been in one until it closed.
I'm pretty sure they shut down at 2. That's not a lot of time.
Anywho, yeah. And there was one of the first one we went to.
Uh-huh.
That girl looked like she was like, I'm like, you're too young to be in here. I'm uncomfortable.
You're uncomfortable, period, Calvin.
I'm uncomfortable. And I'm like, she looked. Maybe that's her niche. I don't know, but she looked like nervous, like it was her first day.
Probably was.
It was just.
It probably was. And then here comes Auntie Calvin to tell her she needs to do better in her life.
I was this close to getting on stage and grabbing a Bible and start preaching. I was close.
Why does this upset you so
I
much?
was close to getting all these women to go in there back. Get your clothes, ladies. We're leaving now.
You don't need to be like
don't
this
need to be
under
here.
the eyes of God.
I don't know. I guess.
Enjoy hell, ladies.
I don't know. I guess it was just.
You said
It was a
instinct.
place I didn't want to be because I was sober.
It sounds problematic if you have to be off your rocker to enjoy a place. It sounds a little problematic when you have to put it that way. You could
No.
just say strip clubs aren't for me. You could say
No,
that.
I've always said strip clubs ain't for me.
Uh-huh.
And two, being around adults so young, being in strip clubs at a young age, you get desensitized to a lot of stuff.
But if you get desensitized, why were you so scandalized then? Why were you trying to preach to these young ladies if you were so desensitized?
And two, it's not like it was a lot of asses in there too.
That's, I mean, for you, okay.
Yeah. I just
It is Baltimore, though. I'm a little shocked that there weren't a lot of booties.
the first one was pretty much almost all white
That's
establishment. They had like
interesting.
2 black girls,
That's interesting.
and then the second one we went to was all black girls.
Interesting. More
Uh,
booties in the second one.
They had the same size booties that were in that little pole queen
Contest that we watched.
2B contest. Yeah,
Okay.
and they were like right next to each other.
Okay.
The first one, they just let us walk in.
So
they didn't card us or nothing.
the white one, was it more a gentleman's club? Like, did they try to be a little more sophisticated? Were they like,
No, they were still playing the same music that the black one was. It was
so
no,
just white girls instead?
yeah, and maybe two black girls, I think.
I got 1,000 questions. The strip bars I've gone to around our area down here in DC, it's been with big groups. It's never been like just one other person. I wonder if that changes the dynamic also.
Yes,
Okay.
I felt the same way when I went to strip club in Virginia Beach. I felt the same way, but I was buzzing more, so I was more entertained. I stayed at the bar. I was more entertained. I was drinking, so it didn't matter.
Clint brought the wrong Mitchell, apparently. I need to go, Clint. Have us a good time.
Yeah, you and Clint can go and watch asses shake.
I have a good time at the strip club. Girls are usually pretty nice. We get into discussion. They tell me about their sugar daddies. Tell me how to run games.
Actually, I
It's
don't want to
nice.
have those discussions. I just see you shake your ass. I don't want you to talk to me. I just want you to shake your ass.
It sounds like even if they did that, you would still be like, what are you doing with your life,
If I'm sober, yes.
Calvin?
If I'm drunk, no.
All of this sounds problematic, but all right. Note to self: don't take Calvin to a strip club. Basically, period.
Yes, you're wasting the money.
So what else could you guys have done? Is there like a Dave and Buster's or something?
No, we had a good time. It was just awkward. He's like, I got told, okay, we can't come in here no more when you're sober. I'm like, yes, we can. I'm uncomfortable.
I do wonder what boys do when it's like boys' night out and they do this, because I know it's completely different when girls go
Normally,
into
they're
it.
probably mad drunk, and then they're just throwing money all over the place, getting lap dances. That's how it normally works.
Were you allowed to touch the girls?
I probably did. I don't remember. Yeah.
They usually tell you up front if you can't. There's signs or the security guard tells you up front, no touching.
I wasn't really trying to touch the girl, so
Okay,
it doesn't even matter.
that's too funny. Well, all right. On to that happened. You ready?
Yep, skeety, boppity, boop. That
But
happened with Joe.
Essence Festival recently just happened. They have it usually around July 4th. So it's like the first week or so of July. And Busta Rhymes came to his first ever Essence Fest to perform and got very mad at the crowd because they were not participating in the way that he thought that they should. I don't know if he just had an early set or what, but firstly, when he gets on stage, there's barely anybody in the audience. Then after that, Busta's like, I'm going to need y'all to act awake. I need you to get up and shout and be active, put the phones down. And he's literally yelling at these grown folks, telling them to get right because this is the 30th anniversary of the festival. First of all, I did not know Essence Fest has been going on that long.
It's going on for a long time.
That's crazy. Secondly, he feels he comes from a different era where people didn't just focus on their phones like this, so they need to be respectful of him and put all that stuff down. And then he's like, all right, let's get this party started.
You would think he's in the right place for that. Because Essence Fest is really for a much older crowd. That's what it really is.
What's much older, Colin? They're our
Like,
age. What's
People in their
They're our age.
35s and up.
Yeah, our ages.
Yeah.
Who would know Busta?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why at the camera, him saying the camera thing, I understand why he said that.
Okay.
The camera phone thing. But the phone thing, I understand what he said that.
Uh-huh.
Because he's like, and two, Busta is energy. That's what he is. He's just energy. Energy. Up tempo the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Running back and forth on the stage. Him and Spliff, his sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't call him sidekick, but
I was
whatever.
gonna say MC.
It's hype man. It's hype man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they do. It's all high energy. You seen when he perform on like war shows? It's all high energy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time too, you got to know who you in front of. Them people probably been sitting there, their knees hurt, back hurt, women's feet hurt. They trying to take it to the crib. They trying to go home.
You said it was already late.
Yeah, it's already past all their bedtimes. You know, them girdles.
So here's the
women
thing.
not breathing. Them girdles
they
killing
showed
folks.
the footage of when Usher and Charlie Wilson performed. Completely different.
What was it?
First of all, packed houses. Secondly, a lot of energy.
Yeah, Essence Festival is more for R&B. It is.
It's all the same stage. So that makes me wonder, when was Busta put in, and why wasn't he put in later then? So that the crowds did fill in at that point.
They should have put Busta in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I don't understand. I don't think they should even have hip hop artists at.
I think they should.
Essence. It depends on who it is.
It's celebrating Black excellence. Why wouldn't they bring them?
Because that Essence crowd is more of an R&B crowd.
Frida performs there all the time.
It's probably mainly New Orleans people in the audience.
No, it's packed.
I don't know what to tell you.
And she's another high tempo artist.
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe Busta Rhymes caught him on the wrong day. I don't know.
That's exactly what I think happened. In my opinion, they didn't schedule him at the right time, because apparently his wherever they were coming from was at the end of another event. So it took time for people to get to that stage in the first place. I think they put him in too early. and basically just that. They put him in way too early.
Wait. So
Essence Festival is all day. It's all day. You get the wristband. You start doing the walk around.
Yeah. I went to something similar to that for Sisters Only.
And listening to other podcasts talk about their experiences at Essence Fest. Between that and the heat in Louisiana,
yeah,
people were, they were falling. They were taken out. But they were also leaving other things, trying to make their way to that stage. So I think he was just there super, super early.
Okay. I'm just, yeah.
Because we've seen other crowds that get hyped for him.
Yeah, I just think it was just a bad time.
Also, I don't think younger people know who he is. So it would have to be people our age.
That's why Redman and Method Man said they're not performing at Summer Jam no more.
I didn't know they were still doing it.
Yeah, they did Summer Jam, and it was like, yeah, we're done. This is not our crowd.
I didn't even know they were still doing it.
They're another high tempo, high energy group.
Mm-hmm.
And amazing performers.
Are they a group? Kind of?
Yeah, they're kind of a group.
Okay. Is Redman, he's not Wu-Tang, is he?
No.
Okay.
He's
he's just paired with Method Man a lot.
Yeah, he's just an honorary member.
Interesting.
He's not an actual Wu-Tang.
Okay. Anywho, so that happened.
He's Def Squad.
Did you see the video of what's his name? Jonathan something. You know what I'm talking about?
Jonathan Majors?
Yes. Have you seen the video of Jonathan Majors dancing? So They Not Like Us?
No.
I don't even know what event this is, but there's a clip of him dancing. Let me see if I can show you the clip. But basically, he's doing like fraternity moves and then just like stomping. And people said it's giving civil rights. It's giving like uncle status type of thing. And then they changed the music. Do you remember that guy I showed you who was doing his own version of They Not Like Us? But it was supposed to be from like Drake's dad's point of view.
Sure.
With the book of chaka.
Yeah, sure.
So they put that to it and it matches.
Okay.
And it was taking people out. Have you seen the video?
No, I can watch it another time.
You can. The reason they're talking about it is because there's also a video of Michael Ealy running into Megan Good and Jonathan Majors and whoever else they're with, and it's the way he greets all of them. Have you seen that video?
How he greets them? Just tell me.
He's excited to see Meg. He hugs her real tight, and it's basically like, "You're beautiful." Ignores Jonathan Majors entirely. Says hi to the other people. Then they all take a group photo, and he says goodbye to Megan only, and he leaves.
Okay, because him and Megan was in a movie together.
Yeah, they've actually been in a couple movies together.
Yeah. I don't know Jonathan. Screw Jonathan. If I don't know you, I don't know you.
This is the reenactment of that. But basically, yeah, they're all standing around,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just how eager he is to see her. This is an exaggeration that I'm
Yeah, I
showing you,
know.
but it's just really, really funny. There's a TikTok clip of a crew that reenacts it for satirical purposes, and he's full like tonguing her out over her pants, like saying hi to everybody but the Jonathan. It's hilarious. It's hysterical. Oh, this sound, I can play it.
It's done.
No, it's not. He's gonna run. So at the end of the clip, after he says goodbye,
Mm-hmm.
the character who's playing Jonathan Majors
Yeah.
starts running, which is a callback to his court case, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, they got history, so.
They got history. They're just talking about how, like, oh, she also sat down with Shannon Sharp. I haven't
Yeah,
seen the video
I saw
though.
that. Yeah, I saw a piece of her talking about how Tyler Perry gave her the most money she's ever gotten before.
What do you think of that statement?
Cool. A lot of people say Tyler Perry pays them.
Well, what about Alfonso Ribeiro?
What? What about him?
You don't remember what happened when somebody was like, "You should work for Tyler Perry"?
You say Tyler Perry doesn't pay anybody?
No, he said he would never in a million years ever do that.
Okay.
Then it turned out he has worked with Tyler Perry in other projects. So people were like, what happened? Because most black actors that have worked with Tyler usually only have glowing things to say. They usually don't say what Alfonso says. So people were like, what happened there?
Alfonso is not Carlton.
We know that.
Okay, so him and Carlton are two totally different people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'm showing him Jonathan Majors dance.
Okay, got it. I don't.
See how well it fits with the song? With the bucket pop.
Because it's the beat. Sure. I don't care about Jonathan Majors. I really don't.
Apparently in the Shannon Sharp interview, Megan also talks about how her friends all said don't date him. And she ignored everyone.
But apparently he also told her what her worth, she needs to get paid what her worth is.
Jonathan
Something.
Majors?
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
that's not a big statement. I'm confused.
I don't know.
Did she say it like it was a big statement? He's the only one.
Yes. Kind of,
who
sort of.
told me I should get paid what I'm worth.
She bigs him up the whole interview.
Of course she does.
Just that segment, she might have bigged him up like 5 or 6 times.
I'm sure she did.
But anywho,
she's being paid to be his girlfriend. She's gotta follow that contract.
Who cares?
The world.
That's the world's
cares.
problem. The world caring about stuff that's not has nothing to do with the world. If the world cared about the world, maybe the world wouldn't be where it is right now.
I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna say okay.
There's other more
pressing matters.
Yeah.
The world cares about that too, but
no.
There's not a whole lot the world can do.
They're not like, oh God, now shit is stuck in my head.
I don't know what's happening. He seems to be having a brain fry.
Yeah, I am.
Oopsie at Money at the Bank. Money in the Bank happened. WWE's prime time live event happened last Saturday, and I didn't catch it when it was airing, but afterwards, a lot of people had something to say about the match between Seth Rollins and Damian Priest for the title. I think it's heavyweight champion. There's a lot of belts.
Yeah.
So there's a point in the fight or in the match where it looks like Seth has Damian pinned, and the ref starts doing the count, and the crowd counts to 3, and you could see it's clearly a 3 count, but the ref pops up and says 2, and it was causing a little bit of contention. So I showed Calvin the podcast that was his name, Bubba
Ray Dudley.
That one, former wrestler Bubba Ray Dudley. I don't think that's his real name, but that was definitely his stage name. Talks about how all the things can happen in the ring, basically. And his breakdown was that he was studying Damon's reaction to what was going on during the ring. And he sees that there's a point in there where Seth has Damian pinned, where Damian's hand is outstretched, but his fingers are like wiggling. And he thinks that was in connection to like maybe trying to regain himself. He might have caught Seth's knee in just the right way to make him see stars. So he just could not control his body to do the kick out. And he goes on to talk about how, like, at that point, it's up to the ref to keep the illusion. And if the ref doesn't keep the illusion, everything else kind of breaks apart when it comes to that match. Because we all know that wrestling is scripted. It's scripted. It's entertainment purposes,
It's
but it's
literally
very physical.
It's literally a choreographed fight.
Mm-hmm. It's entertainment. So, but he talks about how, like, even within the realms of that entertainment, there's still realism that's constructed in order to keep that. The ref needs to also be on board with all of that. But I was talking to Calvin, and I was like, I don't know what the ref could have done in that very short time.
All they was going to do was really rewrite the storyline. That's all they were going to do.
I think that would be a major rewrite, though.
Not really.
I feel like they're building for a long
These dudes
build up.
Get paid a whole lot of money.
Which dudes? The writers or the wrestlers?
The writers get paid way more than the wrestlers to write the storyline.
Okay.
So their job is to think on their feet sometimes. So.
Okay. But if you're the ref in that ring, you go to do you think you're supposed to do a 2 count. The guy doesn't get up. What do you do?
3.
Okay.
And then let them figure out in the back.
And keep it moving.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Or the wrestler who was pinning him could have pulled him up.
Or do you think you could have signaled to somebody on the side? Damien always has, like, somebody from his posse out there.
He couldn't signal. He was out for a second.
No, not Damien, the ref. You don't think the ref could have signaled for that?
The ref didn't have any time. The ref wasn't paying attention.
Or could the ref go heel? Could the ref count to 2 and then just, like, start laughing and get up?
No,
and be like, he's not counting to 3?
He could have done a lot of things. The ref, it don't matter. They'll figure it out. Because to me, there's so much going on that makes no sense.
I'm a fan.
It don't even matter.
I'm a fan.
So, yeah, they could just have the ref get in the back and shake the dude's hand like he meant to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things they can do. But he should have counted 3.
Okay.
Especially if he didn't know. Should count to 3 and let them figure it out. That's what the writers get paid for.
Okay.
They've changed storylines at the last second.
All the time.
They made decisions with people walking down to the ring.
Yeah.
They made decisions. So
you're like he could have left it to the writers to figure out how to repiece it. Very interesting. But so that was happening. Rhea Ripley has come back to wrestling. You may not know who that is. She's the Australian lady. She comes out to rock music. She's known as Mommy. There's a whole, like, little big situation happening over there. There's a storyline happening with Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio's son, where he basically has a stalker, but they're treating it like a love story. It's very toxic. There's a girl named Liv who currently holds the belt for women. I think she's the women's wrestling champion right now. And for whatever reason, she is into Dominic. And they're kind of playing it like she's into Dominic because she hates Rhea. And Rhea and Dom kind of have a storyline where, like, there's, like, a will they, won't they between the two characters. And he calls her Mommy. It's perverse. But Rhea's been on sick leave. I call it sick leave. I don't think that's what it's called. Injured list? Anyway. Her last matchup with Liv resulted in her knocking her shoulder out. Like, entirely. They had to do surgery. It was a whole thing. So she had to take time away. She's recently just come back. And people are very excited. I'm very excited. It's looking great.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't watch wrestling like that anymore.
He said, okay. Hulk Hogan is supposed to be making an appearance for the next live event.
Oh, God.
He's been under fire lately, so it'll be interesting. Did you hear about the latest controversy with Hulk Hogan?
Don't worry, they'll probably cancel him showing up.
Do you think so?
Yep.
Okay, so the controversy is that he has a beer that he is trying to sell right now, and the girl they hired for the promos of it happens to be a black woman. And after Hulk met her, or whatever the event was, they did this, she then gets noticed that they're no longer going to work with her. When she goes to check out the event the next day, I don't know why, but when she goes to check out the event the next day, She notices she got told it was canceled and they were going to stop working with her. So she thinks the event is canceled, and her contract is now null and void. But she happens to go back to the event the next day. It's fully working. It's fully going according to plan. Like they had previously told her before they decided to cancel it. But now there's a white girl doing all the promo. So she's like, racism. He doesn't want me there because I'm black. And it's not helpful that people are pulling up all the old tape of Hulk. Did you know that the last time his son got into a DUI accident, he allegedly gave a speech about how he was worried about all the bad karma the family was gathering and that they might come back in their second lives as black people? And it was a major concern of his.
No, I did not.
Yeah, it's on tape. Hulk Hogan in these tapes. I also didn't realize in the interview that he did back when it first came out with his sex video that he didn't like niggas. He talks about how he came up in South Florida, Tampa area in the late 60s, early 70s, where everybody used that word. And he's like, people also need to keep in mind that while that word is not a good word, it's not a word that's always been bad to him. He said that in his interview back in like 2013, 2014.
Is he lying?
That's what I was going to say. Is he lying? That's what I also was going to say.
Whatever. I don't care.
I'll be interested to see if they bring him on the live event. I will be interested to see.
Well, they'll probably bring him on to push his beer or whatever.
I feel like it's a complicated story when it comes to Hulk Hogan. Because he really did make WWE.
Whatever.
Whatever, you don't agree? I feel like he's too big of a icon to not include.
No one's going to care that he switched the girl out with a white girl. No one's going to care.
Oh, okay. You're saying that's not going to be a big deal.
So he'll be there.
Okay.
No one cares.
I don't know. I feel like it is. I was watching this podcast of these 3 black guys, and they were talking about who they think are their best, most favorite wrestlers of all time. Yada, yada, yada.
Hulk is in everybody's top 3.
He wasn't. So one guy said Hulk Hogan, and his other friends went in. They were talking about how, like, he's not much of an athlete. He doesn't have a lot of trick signature moves.
He doesn't.
All this other stuff.
It's all popularity.
But I guess
it has nothing to do with wrestling.
They're also younger guys, so it's not like they saw any of this when it happened. At most, they were little kids when Hulk was doing his stuff, and at that point, Hulk wasn't even in his golden age. And it's this one lone guy being like, I understand he's problematic, he does this and does that, but he was the face of wrestling for a very long time.
Yeah, that's why. That's the only reason.
But I feel like that is how it is for a lot of fans when it comes to wrestling. And they're talking about like legends. Hulk is in there.
Yeah.
Even though they don't agree with a lot of the stuff he's done and said, he's still in there.
Hulk Hogan is in everybody's at least top 2. Majority of the people, I should say, top 2.
Watching the old wrestling videos, now that I have Peacock and can do that, I did not realize how little he'd actually done.
He doesn't really wrestle. He does a lot of arm locks.
He's a phenomenal reactor. He is a phenomenal reactor to stuff. He really sells getting hurt. He really sells it to the crowd when he needs them to cheer him on so he can get the strength to get up. He's very good at crowd work.
He doesn't do much.
He's good on the mic. He's good at crowd work. He really doesn't do a lot on the mat. It's been a fun time, me learning wrestling. It's been fun for me.
I can see.
Oh, we could talk about the wrestling gig we watched last weekend. I watched my first cage match live and in person. What did you think?
The cage kept falling apart.
Yeah, they had to stop it twice to put it back together.
Yeah, it was fun.
But the mat didn't sink in the middle like it did last time.
It should have. That would have been the best part. And it's amazing it didn't when they were jumping off the top of them.
Yeah, the bars.
That cage.
Yeah.
But when there was no cage, the shit was falling in the middle, sinking in the middle.
The girl match was good too. The ladies match we had, they did a really good job.
Yeah,
it was really
everybody's pretty talented.
And we had more of a crowd. So it was fun. And I already bought my tickets for the next one that's coming up in the next couple of months.
Oh, great.
Can't wait.
As long as they got Santana Jackson, I'm good. If Santana Jackson ain't there this time, I'm gonna burn that place down.
What about the Russian luchador?
I don't give a damn about that Russian.
I do.
I go
Vladimir?
there
I think it's
for
Vladimir.
Santana Jackson.
I love him and that little kid.
Also, follow us at SantanaJackson.org.com.
.org and .com?
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a clip, right, on TikTok of Santana Jackson.
Yes.
Full moon walking on somebody.
Yes. Fan page.
I was not prepared to see a Santana Jackson when we first went. I was like, what?
I screamed like a little schoolgirl. You remember the Coming to America 2 when Lunel said, "Hey, stop playing.
Don't play with me.
Don't play with me."
Don't play with me.
She screamed.
She's running back and forth.
She screamed. I fell out. I literally screamed and fell out when Santana Jackson came out.
Honestly, that was the best part of Coming to America 2. That was the best part when they finally bring him out. Anywho, okay, so moving on. You want to talk about Milf Manor or you want to talk about 90 Day the Other Way?
Let me go Milf Manor, get it out the way.
All right. Milf Manor, we watched episodes 10 and 11. We're basically caught up. Not a whole lot happened in Milf Manor. There's a storyline happening with Anthony, Rebecca, and Connor. Who will she choose? She's going to choose Connor. She's going to choose Connor. It's not going to be Anthony. Even though Lynette, who previously was interested in Anthony, has left the house, Anthony doesn't seem to be missing her because he thinks he's got a chance with Rebecca. But he doesn't.
I thought he was emotionally aware, Javon.
Huh?
I thought he was emotionally aware.
I feel like he is when he's not romantically invested. Does that make sense?
I told you.
Because with he's not romantically invested in them, it's great.
Like I told you, it's pimping 101.
Is it pimping though?
Yes.
I feel like, I know he's getting a lot of grief. A lot of people feel a way about how he treated Lynette, but I don't think he was disingenuous to Lynette. Honestly.
Whatever.
I really don't think he was.
Whatever.
Was it kind of whiplash that he was all about her, then all of a sudden he was like, we need to explore other options? Yes. Yes, it was.
Oh God, now I got to defend the women.
The women?
Yeah. He told her the way he talked to her.
Okay.
Like they were 1-on-1.
Okay.
That's leading someone on.
But he also said he was going to explore options with Rebecca.
Never said that to her face.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Remember, because he tried to do the double date. And then she was like, no. She was like, I'm not doing that.
So at the last second, he tells her after she's all invested.
Is it the last second? Because Rebecca showed.
Yes.
If you want to say last second.
Yes.
Because that all happens the same day Rebecca arrives.
Yes.
I don't know how it's last second.
He led her on.
I don't think he let her on.
She's like, okay, cool.
I think he genuinely liked her. I think he wanted both, in my opinion. I think he wanted both.
From the jump, he could have told her, look, I'm feeling you, but I'm also feeling other people. And that
but he wasn't.
We got to keep this platonic or whatever.
Platonic. At the time, he
and then
wasn't
turned
feeling.
Around and laid in the bed with her and had a whole night with her, wooed her, did all the stuff to be with her.
Okay.
Then another hussy comes to the house. You're gone.
But
she then flips out, and this dude sleeps through the whole thing.
So Lynette herself has said that's the point of being in the manor, is to explore all these other options.
Gotcha.
She has said post all of the show that a lot of what went into her reaction around Anthony was her being triggered by a lot of other stuff that was going on in the house already. So Lynette herself has said that Anthony technically, granted it's a technicality, but technically he told her everything that was happening at that time. His decision to pursue Rebecca, that weird dinner, her leaving was all the same day.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying I don't think he was disingenuous. I don't think it was a situation of him leading somebody on. I think there were expectations. I think expectations weren't met, but I don't think he ever put himself out there to say, listen, it's exactly this. He never did that. Could he have been a lot clearer? Yes. Yes, he could have. He absolutely could have.
Okay, sure. I remember that next time.
Next time what?
Don't worry. I'll use that defense next time.
In that same argument, though, do you think Stacy has led Crystal on?
I don't know what Stacy's doing. I have no idea.
So the Stacy Crystal thing, I do think he's led Crystal on.
I don't think Stacy knows what he wants to do.
I feel like if Shauna, the other black lady in the house, was like, yeah, Stacy, I'm interested. He'd know exactly what to do. He'd be like, bet.
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
I think he will be doing the same thing he's doing now.
He never asked Crystal out. He's never initiated anything with Crystal. The first day Shauna gets there, do you want to go out on a date? First day. Cheesing, grinning, having a great time.
I think what happened was his son left, so now now he wants to play. That's what I think happened.
So why not play with Crystal? It's only after Shauna makes it known that she's not going to go that route that he's like, okay, maybe.
I think he already put Crystal in a friend category.
So why is he pursuing her romantically now?
Because the other lady doesn't want him.
Okay. So basically in 10 and 11, 10 is kind of like the roundup. The new girls are here. The new guys are here. We get introduced to 2 new dads. Or not. Oh, no, it's uncle nephew again. To the house. And I don't even know their names because I don't care. Then we get to see the family of the girls. The girls get their family to come out to see them. Kelly's son comes out. Kelly Mack's daughter comes out. We see, what is her face? Barbie's, I believe it's a friend of hers. Barbie's friend comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And some other friends come out. Oh, what did you think of Christina's friend and their conversation with her current interest? Whatever his name is. Matt?
They're the same person.
What did you think of his take on it, though? David. His name is David.
What was his take?
He didn't like it.
He didn't like her?
He doesn't think that she's a bad person, but all of a sudden his Christian values came to the surface. All of a sudden. Because as soon as she gets there, Christina kind of flips a switch, and they're telling David all of the stories about how, like, they're the tricycle girls. They wear bikinis around Myrtle Beach, and they're on, like, adult-sized tricycles.
They drive down to Myrtle Beach?
No, they bike around it. Because there's a boardwalk, so they bike around.
Myrtle Beach is in South Carolina. They're in North Carolina.
Yeah. It's not that far away.
That's what I'm saying. They go down to Myrtle Beach?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're known. They have to go there to be known as the bike girls.
Okay. Myrtle Beach is not a special place to be hanging around.
I agree with you, but other people from that area apparently do not. They think it's a highlight.
Have your ass
Just
out
like how people here think Ocean City is a highlight. It's not, but
Whatever.
they think it is.
Have your ass out there at night, see what happens.
Have yourself out there in the day, see what happens. Anywho.
That too.
But after he hears all their, like, wild and crazy times, according to him, he's seeing Christina in a different way, in a different light, all of a sudden.
Jesus tapped him on the shoulder and said, "My son, what are we doing?"
I'm confused by the Jesus thing. I mean, I shouldn't be. He's from Texas, but it's the fact that they really painted this picture that him and Connor are nightlife wingmen to each other. The pictures they show of Connor and David all have them paired up with women who are the same age as Connor.
You don't
Now
understand.
all of a sudden, this woman who's age appropriate to David, he's like, I don't know.
You don't understand
she
how.
might be too wild. This
Whatever,
doesn't make any
Javon.
sense.
You don't understand how conservative Christian work.
I guess
Yes.
not. I guess not. Because I was confusion. Because now he's like, I'm kind of second guessing stuff.
The word
And
is not for me, it's for you.
He also keeps talking about how he wants 7 kids. Christina's in her, mid 40s, maybe early 50s. There's no way she's having 7 kids.
Like I said, the word is not for me, it's for you.
He's like, well, we can't adopt. 7 kids? Okay. Anywho. So that's going down. What did you think of Barbie and Chris leaving? They decide the house is too dramatic for them and they gotta go. Because Barbie gets into it with Kelly.
Means absolutely nothing.
The fight between Barbie and Kelly didn't make sense to me. From what they showed us. I don't know if there was earlier antagonistic conversations between the two of them, but it looks like Barbie comes up there where Kelly is already sitting at and talking to people and then just gets into it with Kelly. And it's just like, I don't know why you have to have the spotlight on you all the time. I don't know why you're the messiest. You were the messiest in your season. You don't have to be the messiest in this one. It was like, Barbie, what's happening? It's given obsessed. It's given she lives rent free in your head for no reason. What are you doing? What's going on? And so she, like, really goes in on Kelly to the point where, like, Chris has to come and pick her up and, like, get her to leave. And Kelly's new guy stands up for Kelly, but Joey, Anthony's son, tells him to shut it down for some reason. And it's like, you don't know what's happening.
Whatever.
Joey, what?
Whatever. Kelly's son looks like Joey, which
Yeah,
is weird.
that was Kelly's whole joke, was that Joey looks like her Joey, and then she made out with him.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Next.
Next, what did you think of the fight? Who do you think was in the wrong?
The fake Barbie.
Fake Barbie.
Yeah. It didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
How it even started didn't make sense.
I agree.
The way they chopped it up, I think they wanted it to look like it didn't make sense
Mm-hmm.
to make you crazy.
To make Barbie crazy?
To I guess give it more pop for people to talk about
Okay.
and discuss,
Mm-hmm.
which we're kind of doing right now.
Well, the other thing though is that Barbie is running her mouth on on social,
But
and it's not really painting a clearer picture. So it's like, okay,
but sounds like to me
okay.
she got triggered, don't know why, and then she just went off.
I agree.
And Kelly's like, I don't
Know what's happening right
know
now.
what to do with my hands right now, but I do want to slap you.
Well, and then after all of that, her and Chris are like, we're the only calm couple here. We need to leave. Granted, they just came off their own fight, so I was lost and confused. And because of how vocal Barbie has been on social media, I know that they are not a couple right now. So what?
Whatever.
Huh?
Nonsense doesn't have to make sense.
I guess so. But those are the biggest things that came out of Milf Manor, unless you remember anything else.
Nope.
The finale is happening next week, where we get to see if they're actually gonna like pair up with somebody. At this point, I'm not that invested. Barbie and Chris are coming back for the pairing though, so what?
Did people go
Okay.
home? Didn't somebody go home?
Who got home? Who got sent home?
Oh, I thought somebody got sent home.
In the previous episodes.
Yeah, I don't. The whole adding two more people to the two new dudes.
It worked for Kelly. Kelly got paired with one of the new guys.
Yeah, but it was stupid.
It was
But I
random.
guess, but yeah, and you're almost at the end.
Yeah.
So what are you really gonna learn about somebody?
Right. Anywho, on to 90 Day the Other Way then. Waiting on you.
90 Day the Other Way.
So we have our couples, James and Natalia,
I don't have any notes.
Shekinah and Sarper, Josh and Lily, Corona and Inky. Corona and Inky actually don't make an appearance in this latest episode. So it's really just James and Natalia, Shekinah and Sarper. I don't even think we get Josh and Lily.
No.
Josh is the older guy. Lily
Yeah.
is the Chinese lady.
Chinese lady with
I don't
the
even think we
big
got those two.
ass house. Nope.
We only got like Shekinah and James. So the juicier story is James and Natalia. We can talk about Shekinah and Sarper's juice, or do you want to do the juicier one first?
Their juice is she has to go over there to be with him, or he.
Ooh, Sarper.
Yeah, or
Okay.
he can't keep it in his pants.
Well, okay, so there's that. Sarper wants Shekinah to live with him because he's tired of the long distance thing, and she's lived with him before, but they ended up stopping because, according to Shekinah, the money flow wasn't working the way she wanted it to, so she came back to America to make her money. But according to Sarper, she didn't like it because she didn't like the rules that came with being with him there.
Also, the dude doesn't want to change his bed.
His bed is nasty, by the way. It's like broken and it's not great.
Why would you think a woman want to sleep in a bed that you done had supposedly 9,000 women in?
What do you think of his bottle collection?
What bottle collection of what?
He has a bottle collection from every woman he's been with. So over 2,000 ladies.
This house stinks.
What's in the bottles?
Exactly. This house stinks. Got to be still crunchy underwear.
You know what? The more I find out about his sexcapades, the more I'm sad for him. We
Why?
learned something about Sarper in this episode.
Why?
In my opinion, I feel like maybe he got into this a little too early.
Whatever.
So we know that they said he's basically a sex worker, but they said he was a dancer. I think they tried to sell it as like a performer. He was a performer for ladies. He has this ridiculously high number, he says, of women he's been with. But they also introduced us to some of his coping mechanisms. Like how the counting thing, he started counting rice,
Sure.
grains.
Yeah.
And he was counting people on the street.
Yeah.
And he talks about how when his anxiety is super, super high, that's what he does.
That's what lonely people do.
And he's done it since he was a kid. And he's like, I'm sure it's just not a diagnosed condition. And I'm like, you're 110% right, sir. That's a very interesting trait to cope. especially when it doesn't work for you.
He turns into the count. 1, 2, 3.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sarper's story involves assault or being sexualized at a very young age. I wouldn't be surprised. And
Everybody hasn't been assaulted. Some people just like to be naughty.
I'm just saying, he worked as a performer. He has this huge number of people he's been with. Connecting the dots kind of gives sex workers usually don't have the greatest, in terms of like consensual career ever. So
what's the gossip?
That is the gossip. The gossip is that. And then Shekinah decided, while she's going back to Turkey to be with Sarper, to get back at him about the bottles, she's going to bring a letter that got written to her when she was in high school.
I don't know why she think that's going to hurt his feelings. But
she's like, it's 143 pages.
But it's probably going to, because he's probably emotionally unstable, so who knows?
Why are you bringing ammunition to start more fights? Like, you're not exhausted?
Because that's how women do mental war.
That's not how women do anything. That's how Shekinah does it.
Yes. You keep one in the chamber.
That's how Shekinah is. It's not even one in the chamber. This is a dud.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get mad at a letter you got
she thinks
30 years ago?
Something big.
Confusion. Anywho. That's really all that is.
What do you expect from a woman that's almost 95% fake?
Here's the other thing I don't understand. Shekinah and Sarper's whole relationship has been very contentious. When he sees her at the airport, he fully cries.
That's what happens when you have no control of your emotions.
Okay. I'm just saying, my initial thought about his investment in her wasn't that high. But seeing his gut reaction to her coming back finally was very interesting. On top of everything else that we've been hearing. It's very interesting.
No, really.
Also, he wears color contacts. Like, nonstop.
He was able to cry on site.
It's very interesting. He's also designing her new nose. I'm very scared by this. So
whatever. Plug and play.
All right, James and Natalia. Do you need me to give you a rehash of what happens in this episode for them?
Yes.
All right. James and Natalia. He's dropping Natalia off so that she can go to Indonesia. She's worried that he's not going to come with her. She's very worried about the fact that the dog, I think the dog's name is Joey.
Whatever. Yeah.
Or Jojo, something like that.
Is
not coming as well because he told her last minute that the dog can't come.
She's also upset because he hasn't told his family yet.
Correct. All of those things are happening at the same time. And then while they're in the car and he's quizzing her down about like work in terms of how they're going to make money once they're there.
You're going to be cutting bananas at my dad's banana stand.
Banana chip store. So he already knew that he was going to be working with her family because her dad does banana chips over there because it's banana capital where she's from. And he was like, so how does this work? How much would I get paid? And she's like, you're not going to get paid. And he goes, how are we going to make money if I don't get paid?
Free room and board, that's why.
Basically is what she's saying. And she's like, we're lucky if you can even find a place in the market. And I'm like, wait a minute. He doesn't even have a stand then. That's what that means. He doesn't even have a stand. This is an open market where you got to like get there early and plant your stuff.
So, you're going to put the sour cream and onions on the banana chips.
You don't do sour cream and onions on banana chips.
I don't know what they do. They got to have
It's a banana that is dried out.
They got to have a niche.
No, they don't.
Because if everybody else is selling them, what makes theirs stand out?
No, I don't think everybody else is selling banana chips.
I guarantee you there's like 3 or 2 more stands of banana chips selling.
3 or 2 more? Anyway, anywho. Yes. But he's just like, what do you mean I'm not making any money? What do you mean I'm not going to get paid? And
You're a slave.
For whatever reason, she's upset that he doesn't get that if he's working for the family, it's free. It's free labor because he's part of the family. And he's like, how are we going to live there if I'm not making any money? And she's like, well, figure it out.
She can go back to her modeling. She could just go back to modeling if she's making money.
Makes me question if she was. Anywho.
Who knows?
But also, again, it's been a minute since she did all that. So, anywho.
So then he goes to visit his, I guess, brother?
Yeah, his brother and his sister-in-law.
So
he doesn't go to visit them. They come to visit him. He's in his house.
So apparently he's the only one that works at the elevator.
It really is giving that he's the only one who works because when they get there, he drops the bomb that he's moving to Indonesia and not coming. He says exactly like that. So just want to let you guys know, I'm going to tell the parents I'm moving. I'm going to go to Indonesia with Natalia. They're like, okay, for how long? And he's like, forever.
Ever.
And they're like, what do you mean? You're not coming back? And
So
he's
who's
like,
gonna run the
no.
elevator business? Bitch, it's three. It's like 5 of
Basically,
us.
his older brother goes, so you're going to leave us in the lurch again. And apparently, James has done something similar before. James was married previously, and he left with his spouse at that time to move to Florida. James painted that his spouse was very abusive, whether that was verbal or physical, and he had no choice but to go and follow her to Florida in order to like try to make the marriage work.
Sounds like James has a type.
Sounds like James has a type. So, but the way the brother is drilling him about leaving the family business makes it sound like he's the only technician that they have on the payroll.
You're the only one with all your fingers still attached without staples and stitches.
Random. James
Remember
talks
his
about
dad
how
lost 3 of his fingers. They had to stitch him back.
it'd be a better comeback to say you're the only one with fingers, not the only one with fingers with stitches and staples.
Yeah.
Anywho, but James talks about how like when he left to Florida, they had to do a complete reorganization of the company because they were down in manpower, and it was like if a single person left and then they do that much reorganization, were you the only person? Like what is what? What do you mean?
You know my hands don't work.
And your brothers don't work either? Anyway,
That's crazy.
but to the fiance or girlfriend or wife or whoever this woman is, like with the brother, her concern isn't that he's leaving the family business in the lurch. Her concern is that he is leaving the family entirely. He's going to be in a completely different country.
Which leads me to believe that the reason that dude brother ain't doing what he's doing is because of her.
That's okay. Sure. Yeah, sure.
I think she's like
Very interesting takeaway.
I think she says I think it's they work so much.
He said family business, so clearly he does something with the family business.
What I'm saying is I think he was working so much that she was like, "Hey, we don't spend no time together. Either spend time with me, or make me available for our schedule, or I'm done. We're done."
Them together gave me newish vibes. I don't think she was present during James's first marriage. Because when the brother was talking about that first marriage, she was looking at him like, "Well, this is new information." So I don't know how much she factored, if it was a factor for him to not work in the elevator business. I think he does work in the elevator business. I think they just relegated James to doing all of the tactician work.
And like I think there's no way he wasn't doing it to the brother. But like you said, James, like they were saying, he's never really there. That's why Natalia.
James is not really there. She said it's because of work.
Yeah.
But did you see what they showed us that first day, or I guess the first episode of this thing?
Mhm.
His hours for work flexible because remember he was looking for rocks in the forests right after work.
I don't know. I'm just telling you what they said. Okay, that's what they've been saying. So I don't know. I really don't. But it sounds like
Here's what I know about the elevator union because I used to work alongside a guy who was a part of this
all
union.
I'm saying is one monkey shouldn't stop no show.
I agree. But what I'm saying is, first of all, it's pretty decent money doing all of that. 2, I wonder if he's how they kept their licensing. Wonder if that's why it was such a big deal.
Chopped his fingers off. They were like, "Yeah, we can't hire him."
You're an insurance liability. So I wonder
Yep.
if James being there, being licensed, being certified, all of that helped them overall with the business, and then him being gone means they lost all that.
Maybe he's the non-clumsy one.
I don't know about all of the injuries that you keep trying to pin on them, but I think in terms of like administrative paperwork,
There has to be a reason why the rest of them can't pick it up.
what I just said, licensing and certification, that stuff takes a long time.
So you mean to tell me they started elevator business when one person was certified?
He might be the only one that's recently certified. You know what I mean? Like up to date. He might be the only one.
So no one
Because
thought.
it costs.
No one thought. We got to re-up these licenses, and we're gonna keep doing this.
If it's the family business, and it sounds like it's a small family business, clearly, because they had to restructure or blah, 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 blah stuff. Clearly, the dad doesn't do it anymore. 1, I doubt the mom does it. We don't think the brother does it at all. I don't think the brother ever got into it, to be fair. I think the brother probably has been on payroll or admin or whatever. They probably have not hired other technicians.
Whatever.
So it's all on James.
Sure, whatever. That's a dumb. Sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a strong way to do business, but what? These are the scraps they've left us with. But anyway, so all of that's going down, and the brother just is not happy. The brother is not happy with the decision. He feels it's impulsive. He feels like he's not thinking this through clearly. They don't really have a set plan to get to Indonesia, all of that. And James is like, well, I'm still going to go. And we know he does because we've seen the previews where Natalia is fully sobbing on the floor, kissing her mom's feet. And he's there looking like I don't know what's happening.
Sucking them baby toes, getting all between the crevices and everything.
I don't know about any of that, but their relationship is toxic. So, do you think they're going to last?
Yeah.
Do you think they're stronger than Sarper and Shekinah?
Yeah. They're gonna last because I don't see him leaving.
Okay, you don't see him being the one.
No, if I'm not mistaken, the ex-wife broke it off.
He broke it off.
The ex-wife broke it off.
Oh, you are mistaken. He said he divorced her. He said he divorced her.
He's lying. That's what we do to save face.
Okay.
There's no way he ran behind her, then got down there and was like, "I'm gonna divorce you now."
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, sounds like she was already bad before they left. He just divorced her and stayed where he was.
Yeah, it really did sound like it was not
good. He followed
good.
her. Something happened. She left him.
Yeah.
The end.
I guess so. What did you think of the previews for next week that do show Josh and Lily and Corona and Inky?
I want to see that big Frankenstein head Inky. Because he is so unaware of all what's going down. He has no idea at all what's going on. He is blinded. He's blind.
So here's what I know about people in Iceland. They're very pragmatic. Like German pragmatic. Like it's this or this or this. Like I said before, typically in that area, they have an app so that they can make sure that they're not dating a cousin. Like there's a whole concern about incestual relationships because they're so, what's the word?
That's why it says deformed.
What is it called when the society's on one thing?
I don't know.
Oh, yet. Because Japan is this. Homogeneous. They're a very homogeneous society. There's not a lot of diversity there. But they're very pragmatic. And in terms of like romantic relationships, the woman takes the lead a lot of the time in that culture. So you've got Inky who comes from that type of culture. And then you've got Corona who comes from like almost a polar opposite culture. That's very patriarchal, misogynistic. She has this expectation that she's going to go over there, move in with him, get engaged, and eventually get married. He thinks she's coming to visit. So, and she also has not told him that she's moving there.
It'd be funny.
I'm not blaming this guy.
It'd be funny after a week, you're like, so when you're leaving?
The preview is him with friends, and he's like, I don't know what she's expecting of me. I don't know what she wants from me.
You've been here for a month now. You don't have to get back.
Like, I can't blame him for not being able to read her mind. That this is all the stuff that she wants to happen.
Nobody in America is looking for you right now.
And in another preview, we see them talking about the whole like getting engaged thing, and he's like, "Who gets engaged after 5 months?" And I was dying.
Your mama know you over here still?
I was dying because I mean that is what's the word? It's a logical question. Who gets engaged after 5 months?
So her mom puts the phone to the computer and reads what people are saying to her when she's on the phone.
She doesn't need to. If she's got the computer, she can click subtitles. She doesn't have to do the phone thing.
So when someone calls her,
mm-hmm.
she has to go to her laptop.
I doubt anybody's calling. A lot of people don't use the phone like that anymore. If they FaceTime her, there is, like, if you're hard of hearing, there's a setting you can use that will do the same thing her tablet was doing.
How is she going to hear the sound that the FaceTime is anything? She can't hear.
If the FaceTime is anything,
She can't hear anything. How she can hear the phone rings or anything?
it can flash. You can set up the settings for it to flash. People with hearing impairment also have these devices.
You know, it's crazy. If your phone is in the cushion,
The lights are very bright. You'd still see it.
whatever.
You'd see it flash.
Sure, she would.
Okay, Calvin. I don't know where your joke was going with that, but anyway,
She's deaf.
she doesn't want to admit that. They keep saying hard of hearing. They keep saying that
You going to Iceland?
she has a slight hearing problem. Is what they kept saying. It was hilarious.
That's crazy.
It's the grandma and the sister going Iceland, and then Iceland. Then it's all like
Yeah, you don't know that boy. I'm like, wow,
was great.
this is gonna be awesome.
it was great. Anyway,
She should take her mom to Iceland with her.
I'm interested to see what cold hard rationality is going to do when it meets Dreamer. It'll be very interesting.
He's gonna see the black woman he never saw before. That's what's gonna happen.
She's gonna stop gentle partnering him. She's gonna go full black
And that'll
woman. You're
be
saying?
the last black person he ever dates. He'll just stick to his sister.
Surprisingly, there's a lot of black Icelander couples that like go the distance. It's very interesting. And then Josh and Lily's preview for next week is Josh already getting upset that Lily keeps throwing in his face that she makes the money. And the instance we see is her in the car, and it's her being like, "Do you know how much I spent on you already?" And he goes, "You don't need to keep flashing that in my face." "Yeah, I do, nigga. I built a whole house for you. I had to go pick you up at this airport. I probably paid for those tickets for you to come here in the first place." Yeah, you can hear about every dime.
I don't know what he expects her to say.
It was already his concern where he was like, "Yeah, I won't be the breadwinner. I'm gonna need you to do some research on how to be the best house husband. You know, you should watch that anime, that mafia husband anime.
House husband?
Yes, you should watch that. That's how you should do it."
That's hilarious.
And do it that way. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for both those shows. Are there any shows that you were watching that you feel are standouts?
You tell me yours. I gotta pull up one someone told me to watch. I'm
Interesting.
gonna look at it.
That you did not watch. Okay, good.
No, I was out the house the whole weekend.
You had access to TVs. Anywho.
Not really. He only has the internet. I mean YouTube. He doesn't, and I put Tubi on his TV. He doesn't have Netflix, none of that stuff. Or he didn't have it. He wasn't signed in.
You have all that stuff too. You could have signed in.
I don't know.
Your sign-ins?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm caught up on The Boys with the whole Homelander saga. I'm still not a fan of them introducing this new character, this black woman named Sage. She's supposed to be the smartest person on the planet, but she immediately signs up with basically the neo-Nazi of the show. I don't understand that. And in this latest episode, she basically gets fired from the team, which was coming. And she's shocked and surprised. I don't know where they're doing with this. I don't know where they're going with this, and I'm very confused. Outside of that, it's a very interesting show. Outside of that, in terms of like character, storylines, the gray morality of everything, still really good in terms of that type of storytelling. But yeah. Anyway, the other shows that I watched that murder show. I think we both watched that episode.
Social murder.
Social media murders.
Social media murder. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It was scary. We watched one where it was this lady who becomes a social media influencer. She comes from a very strict Muslim household and community that's very reserved and conservative, and she kind of breaks out of the box of expectation around her.
Whatever, she gets killed by her husband. Then the second one was what?
I don't know.
Well, the last one we watched was the girl. She had issues, like
Mental health issues.
mental health issues.
Oh yeah, and she was coping with it by going on Discord.
So then finally, I guess she met some
Ugh.
friends, and then she met this one guy, who the mom met, who thought was a good guy.
Well, yeah.
And then she
Also off of
meets-
Discord.
She meets another guy. They all decide. Well, her and the guy, I think his name was Billy.
We don't need to know his name. He was terrible.
They
He's
decide.
an incel, and he gets obsessive, and he murders her.
So yeah, pretty much they decide to go to concert that's 2 hours away. She ends up meeting the guy that she wanted to meet the whole time, who she liked. At some point, they kiss. He sees it in a dark corner. From a dark corner,
This
he sees them kiss.
explanation and setup is terrible.
Yeah, he sees them kiss from a dark corner.
Her story was sad, but
Drops the guy off, takes her to the woods, licks her face, murders her.
we didn't know that we don't know if he licked her face. But the point is,
Of course he did.
you had this beautiful girl who was going through it. She didn't really fit in her area at all. She didn't have a lot of in real life friends. She didn't know how to socialize like that. She's dealing with her own stuff. She gets online and kind of finds a community that way.
She was the typical teen of now.
Actually, this was 2019.
Yeah.
And then they brought us back to like 2016. So it's not even now. But anyway, she builds this community around her. It's given cosplay. It's given nerdery, which I love. But she does this on Discord, which is one of the scariest places ever. Ever. It's also known where a lot of incels hang out. They make their own insanity over there. And it's about how she ends up befriending one of these incels, this guy who makes himself super available to her, driving her places, getting her stuff. She doesn't ask for a lot of this. He just does it a lot of the time to be around her. But in doing so, for whatever reason, he also feels entitled to her. So when it comes to a situation where she actually has an active interest in somebody else, he's like, you got to go. And that's exactly what happens. He cuts her head off with a knife. And then tries to take his own life with that knife. Survives that attempt and is now in jail, but has a possibility of parole.
Did she think he was a personal Uber?
She didn't ask for this stuff. He did. Because he was her friend. If
I'm driving you everywhere, you better give me a taste of the poutine.
That's what he said to her. And she said no. And he said die.
If you don't, I feel some type of way.
Here's what I found.
Murdering type of way? No.
Here's what I found interesting.
But some type of way.
Was the discussion around incel behavior and how for a lot of that, you kind of just dismissed it as they just can't get any. It was very interesting.
That's what it mainly is.
But it's like a level higher. It's like, because there's this anger component that leads to a lot of action, which is very scary.
Because they can't get none.
But it's also murder. Like, the death happens. Death is a component in this.
I know. Because they can't get any.
Okay, Calvin.
Think about it.
That's what incel means.
He's chasing this girl.
That's what incel means. Involuntarily celibate. That's what it means. They literally can't get any. That's what it means.
Because they're weird.
Calvin.
But they are.
Okay.
So it's not that they want any. They're just not. They're just refraining
what
from
I'm
it.
saying is, if somebody gets the term incel stamped on them, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's one thing to just be like, this is a loser who doesn't get any. It's another thing to be like, this is a loser who doesn't get anything, and he will shoot you. He will actively try to murder you. And then once he does that or even attempts it, he's going to be celebrated in his community. Because they also go on to talk about how, like, daily, to this day, incels will post stuff to her family about her death. They still have the video that he took of doing the act circulating, which is insane.
Because they don't leave their basements and they can't get punched in the face.
It's to the point where the mom got it into New York law that if they come across any of that kind of stuff, they can take it down. Because there's no formal law, federal law, against it. That's insane. That's crazy.
Okay. I'm also trying to watch this new USA, I guess it's a game show called Anonymous.
We don't have USA, so I don't know how you're going to do that.
Probably got them on HBO Max. I don't know. But we figured it out. It's a new reality competition series. Pretty much is like Traders and The Circle.
Neither of those shows you watch.
Nope. I did watch Traders. I just got to like 3 or 4 episodes and I was like, I can't do this.
So why are you going to watch Anonymous?
I'm going to try. Sometimes you got to learn to like new things.
Interesting.
It's called growth.
Is it?
Yep.
Or is it called complacency? Giving in. Selling out.
No. Growth.
Okay. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Ain't got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thank you for listening to We Like That podcast.
So we like that.
Go ahead and click that subscribe button. You know you want to. And rate us 5 stars. I'm Javon.
I'm Calvin.
Later, people.
And we're out.